Israel may be holding the gun, but the West is equally complicit. Whether it's supplying weapons or giving endless political support, the question is, will that attitude continue? Or will they tighten the screw now? Don't hold your breath. The West has dusted out its usual statement. We support Israel's right to self-defense, but we don't want an escalation. This statement basically has two problems. One, it changes based on domestic compulsions. Just look at the United States. Washington has been piling pressure on Israel. They have been asking Prime Minister Netanyahu to exercise restraint, but each time he has ignored them. Normally, countries would be unhappy about this, the US especially. But in this case, the US is giving a free pass to Israel. Just consider the strike on Beirut. Before the strike, American officials warned against an escalation. After the strike, they endorsed it.
We also don't want to see the conflict escalate. We don't want to see it spread. That has been one of our goals from day one, from October 7th on.
Israel has a right to defend itself, and I unequivocally support Israel's right to remain secure and to defend the security of Israel. What we know in particular is it has the right to defend itself against a terrorist organization, which is exactly what Hezbollah is.
What explains this? Domestic politics. Jews make up around 2.4% of the US population, and they're an influential group. Since the 1930s, most of them have voted for Democrats, but that's slowly changing. Look at the 2020 election. Between 1/3 and 1/4 of all Jewish voters voted for Trump, which is why Kamala Harris is worried. She is locked in a dead heat against Trump, so Jewish vote could prove to be the difference. Hence the flip-flops. That's the first problem with Western policy. The second problem is the lack of intent. Yes, words carry weight in geopolitics, but you must enforce those words. Let's look at Germany. They're quite worried about the recent escalation. Berlin wants cool heads to prevail.
We call on all actors to use maximum restraint. The logic of reciprocal retaliatory acts is the wrong path, and what's most important now is to keep a cool head and to react with a cool head.
The same Germany is also arming Israel. Around 25% of Israel's defense imports come from Germany, the second highest after the US. And what kind of weapons are these? Submarines, warships, aircraft engines, and torpedoes. So look at the absurdity of all of it. First, Germany arms Israel to the teeth, then they ask Israel to keep calm. Do you know what's a better idea? Cut off the weapons. It's like that child who keeps drawing on the wall. You can either ask them to stop doing it, or you can take away the pencil. The West is sticking to the first option. They're not holding up weapons. They are simply asking Israel to de-escalate. And look where it's got us. More than 38,000 civilians are dead. Gaza is a wasteland. Even Tehran and Beirut are coming under attack. It's the definition of a failed policy. So what can the West do differently? Well, a lot depends on the US. Kamala Harris has an election to fight, so Joe Biden will not risk major policy changes. But afterwards, things could change. Just look at the UK. The Labour Party was once far left on Israel. They were quite critical of Netanyahu. But Keir Starmer struck a balance. He promised to continue the UK's support for Israel, as a result of which his party lost key Muslim seats as well. But look at his policy since. Earlier, the UK had challenged the bid to arrest Benjamin Netanyahu. Keir Starmer has now decided to drop that challenge. He is also pausing the supply of some weapons to Israel. So clearly, elections flipped the switch here. The question is, which way will it flip in the US? Donald Trump has promised a pro-Israel policy, but Kamala Harris's position still remains ambiguous. So I guess the takeaway is quite clear here. Do not depend on the West to resolve your issues. They will make big claims, they will organize talk shops, add some weapons to the mix, but finally leave you worse than before. It's West Asia today. You wonder what's next.
Across continents, one powerful news source.
Bringing you diverse perspectives on the issues that matter.
We go beyond the boundaries to give you that little extra about every sporting moment.
So thank you for making Firstpost 5 million strong. We're counting on your support, and you can trust us to bring you the news unfiltered and unvarnished.
Climate change is on our doorstep. It's time for a revolution to take root. And it starts with 1.4 billion Indians. It starts with one tree for humanity, one tree for Mother Earth, one tree for our future. Project One Tree, a News 18 network initiative.
On this today, the T20 World Cup bandwagon has moved across to the West Indies. What can you expect from this?
Hello, I'm Alison Green, coming to you from Durban, South Africa. Today we have a special
Start with a report on India's shifting nuclear posture. The first time since India officially became a nuclear power.
Hello and welcome to Firstpost America. I'm Aaron Ham, coming to you live from the nation's capital, Washington, D.C.